We're continuing to follow the breaking news this morning. Any moment, President Trump is going to meet with French President Emmanuel Macron at the G7 summit. It comes a day after Trump announced a framework of a deal to end the war with Iran, though all the details of that agreement are yet to be made public. I want to bring in a former Assistant Secretary of State for Near Eastern Affairs and former U.S. Ambassador to the UAE, Barbara Leaf. Ambassador, it's good to see you this morning. I want to begin with your top-line thoughts, your initial thoughts on what we know so far about this framework, some might say concept of a deal here, and how it compares to the deal that we had at one point under President Obama.
Well, Antonia, you know, the truth is there is far more that we don't know about the details of this agreement than what we do know. And there's a huge narrative war going on between Tehran and Washington. So you can expect lots of chaff, lots of disinformation, misinformation, all the way through to Friday, when presumably we will get a look at the details of this ostensible 14-point plan. So at this point, it is just a framework. It is not a JCPOA-like deal on the full set of nuclear issues that fall within Iran's nuclear program. Iran's program is also at a very different stage than it was in 2015. So you really can't compare the two. What this is effectively doing is opening the Strait of Hormuz for 60 days. That's the best that we can say. Everything else is TBD.
One of the major points of contention here, Ambassador, really throughout this entire process over the last few months, has been what is happening in Lebanon and Israel's role or sort of desire to pull itself away from the table, actually, as the U.S. and Iran tried to reach a deal here. And I'm curious how likely you see, a scenario there where continued escalations in Lebanon set us back once again. It's happened before. The president has had now multiple expletive-laden phone calls with Prime Minister Netanyahu, made his displeasure with the way that he has operated in Lebanon, pretty well publicly known. And I guess I want your larger thoughts on how the U.S. is to thread a very careful needle where they need to show Iran that they're going to deter Israel from doing anything that could derail all of this, while also still being an ally to Israel. And we know that Netanyahu wants to stay close to Trump, given his own political fortunes right now.
Look, Lebanon is very much a point of volatility for even this framework deal, and I would guess that it will remain so throughout the course of the negotiations on the nuclear program itself, which will have to extend beyond 60 days. So precisely because Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has made the effort to get to Hezbollah, to destroy Hezbollah, and to remain on Lebanese soil until that work is done, that is going to inject itself constantly into this framework and then into the negotiations themselves. On the other hand, Prime Minister Netanyahu knows that politically he has no place to go in Washington. He cannot contest this president the way he has previous presidents, previous Democratic presidents, even in a way that he managed to occasionally navigate around President Trump in his first term. That is just not available now. So, and he is up against the hard deadline of October for his own re-election campaign. So there will be volatility built into this. And the Iranians have tested this American president repeatedly and found that when they push him hard on Lebanon, he turns and pushes Netanyahu hard.
I want to ask you, too, about the hardliners that Trump will face in his own coalition, Senator Lindsey Graham, a war hawk, being one of them, who has at times kind of thrown water on potential moments of peace and agreements that at least seemed to potentially be out there in the air. He posted about this agreement on Sunday, saying he was cautiously optimistic about the deal, but he was concerned about Iran's view of it. And he also, and I found it interesting, the only person he really name checks in this post is Vice President J.D. Vance, calling him the architect of the deal. This is Senator Lindsey Graham, someone who loves to give President Trump plenty of credit, to feel close to him, to celebrate his successes. How did that decision, that wording, strike you? Do you think that the senator is, setting up J.D. Vance to take the fall if things do not go well here.
Well, he may be. That's what it looks like. But I can't imagine this is going to find favor with President Trump himself, who regards himself as the architect of this deal, for better or worse. And obviously, he's been out there shopping it hard since all through yesterday, actually since Saturday, when he predicted it would be ready to be signed on his birthday. So one way or another, this is President Trump's deal. I don't think Senator Graham's commentary really has any weight in this regard.
Ambassador Barbara Leaf, thank you so much. Great to see you.